All right, hello. Welcome to today's analysis of the NQ and a little bit of related markets. Maybe I might actually just stick to the NQ today. Um, yeah, slightly earlier, getting earlier with the analysis, which is good. So, okay, let's. Oh, it's Monday, the 22nd of September. Let's take a look at what we have, because yeah, pictures getting painted a small bit. I'm gonna start in the 2 hour. I like this guy. This was the news push. We have all of this that we can easily come into. We've changed character up here. We have wave div from here to here, and money flow divving all the way. I know this didn't div, but it's all part of the same wave, so you can lump this together and say that this is divving this because money flow is divving here too. So this could bring us down into here. No problem. I think this is old. Let's get rid of that. Well, actually, we'll see. Immediately, so structure here is a bit odd looking, maybe to most people. They would say, why isn't this a break of structure? It is technically. The thing is, this didn't hit, if you remember last week, I said that I didn't want to take the long here because we didn't actually hit any liquidity points that were nested inside of this push. For me, still raised eyebrow on this low in relation to this high. Coming into here, sure, we could get some longs. Yeah. Breaking this low, I would be careful. We do have a liquidity point internally down here that we could maybe wick into. But, you know, if we start breaking down below this LLBU at 24,700, I would be looking lower down into this area here. There's a high volume node down here around this change of character. So we have lows here that could get swiped. They look like a little liquidity area just above this point of control. So I would say that our squid LLBU is actually kind of down here with this at the bottom of the rate cut news push. I would say that all of this is liquidity and ripe for some kind of accumulation. All right. Not much has changed from last week on that regard. Immediately, what has happened? Tokyo took internal liquidity. So we have Tokyo took external liquidity, and then kind of pushed down. We got a break structure here. Then another break. Now, for as far as my models go, we did technically come into a little gap down here. This push up. So if we look at it on the 24, we came into a block, a 24-minute block, which was responsible for, I'm going to say this break structure. We left a liquidity area below here. If we were going to be really bullish, I would have liked to seen us come deep into this, maybe on this push down, and then get a push up, and then a higher low here. That didn't happen yet. It seems like we might just continue grinding down. So I would have had to use this low as liquidity, and it didn't line up with how I normally trade that model. What model am I talking about? I'm talking about this guy. So push down, nice extension of the downtrend. Then you have, but it's nested in an uptrend. So We have an extension of the downward push into external liquidity around this zone, then a liquidity hunt around right now, which makes a lower high, which then gets a little break of structure, we get a flush, push up, flush, push up, and then we have the brink, so we could exit around UK or US pre-market. Come back. If that does happen, it would be a very wide version of that right now. Otherwise, if we get prolonged absorption here, there's a chance that it could be this one. It's very similar. We had to push up into this window, push down into pink, which is where we are right now. If we get absorption here, push up, I might scalp that just because of the liquidity curve that we're leaving behind. This guy. The nature of this move, you know, I did get my short model here technically on the 3 minute. Here. I didn't take it because normally we would have more of a liquidity grab even internally here, but we didn't. We just have a sheer kind of push down now, so I'm gonna have to wait, really. The case for this leading into a push up is still there. If I wanted to say that, because sometimes they do this, they don't actually necessarily grab the liquidity point that I'm looking at, but they come into the block. They did. We got a 24 minute. Here, if we close above 24,785 in the next 15 minutes, I might entertain a long back up because we do have this crazy curve that's been left. We have China up there, you know, Japan. Japan did swipe Sydney's open before pushing down, which can be a nice directional bias for UK. So yeah, I'm just aware of the fact of what we have below us, you know. We could swipe and push down. For US, we also have an RTH gap here. So let's have a look at the RTH gaps that we have. Onto the NQ on this. Oh, I make you big. How do you do that again? Yes. RTH. Yes. We have a nasty 50% located just below this wick here. Now this is Newswick. No, it's not. Sorry, this is Newswick. Yeah, we have a 50% hanging around down here. I could see us come down into this. No problem. But I would like... oh yeah, we would still be maintaining this div. Money flow is still relatively strong, and actually coming into these lows here, we would be getting money flow diversions hitting this point. Really aware of that. Really aware. And then that would come into our midterm pull. Could see us kind of getting some footing there. A huge push. Like, I could see something like that happen. Whether they do that now, I mean, US likes to play with their RTH gaps. UK and the other sessions rarely do. Which means I guess we could stay around here for US to then bring it down very quickly. Sure. Maybe, you know, maybe. So models today, they're a bit iffy for me. If this was the liquidity grab that I was looking for, then it's just too quick for me, too nested, didn't immediately break structure in a very obvious way for me, didn't have that kind of retrace I'm looking for. So I'm still aware that upside potential is possible. Now technically, this level, 24,831, is my invalidation for my bearish continuation model. So really, I should be bearish until this point is broken. I just don't like I just don't like the price action right now. Looking here. Yeah, nothing immediate. Okay. This curve is give me the heebie-jeebies. We actually did come into this little block. I was looking at this. As I said, if we get closes above 24, why is this freaking out? This does this sometimes. If we get closes above 24,784 in the meantime, even if we just get like closes above here, we start building structure up there. I could see us come up to this 45-minute OB, maybe, though that would be a dramatic shift. So we have red vector down, blue up, and a normal candle closing low. I would like to see a lot of absorption here if I'm going to be longing. No, you're like, well, Glenn, all these goddamn models, and you don't know what to use them for. Well, if I saw a price come up, come down, break structure, and then up, liquidity grab, and then down, I would have been in here, like easy. But it's just the way that they did it that I'm a bit iffy on. I might have another chance coming into blue. So let's say if I'm looking at this model, right, which is the one I was thinking about. We come down, scalp entry here. Okay, let's say I missed the scalp. All right, as they push down into blue, maybe if we get a retracement up to the start of gray, I could get in on a little short. So we'll see. You know, there are options. It is Monday as well. You know, because of last 2 weeks with this crazy just extended push up. You know, they could try and fabricate a large range here, right? They could, you know. Look at this, like. It's just one straight push up. Now this is a important thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if they started farming in here. So in order for that to happen, the moves need to be big. Get big ATRs and that needs to be created, right? Before we can interact with it. So hey, Mondays can give you information. I've always said that. Mondays are good for giving information. So if we get a lot of absorption around here, I might entertain along, but we're getting these big spanning pushes, and it's not necessarily the price action I'm extremely comfortable with trading. So maybe I just don't trade. This is a important structural point around here. Would I trade the retrace? No, not in this context. Not in this context. I have to say something very convincing. Yeah, this liquidity idea for these two isn't as satisfactory as I want. If we get a higher low like right now, really coming in, looking like this could be a higher low, I might actually get in on blue, right? I wouldn't get in on the higher low here because it could just fail. I would look at blue. I would like a nice push up, nice obvious break of microstructure, retest in, take out a tiny bit of liquidity, even a pip, and then get our push up. I would trade that as a long. So that would happen in the next 20 minutes. If we just fall through the floor, well, not the floor, but if we just fall through this low that we're in, I'll probably just wait for a retracement and get maybe a scalp short or something like that, because we have very valid areas lower that we could make a run for. After the divs that we got here, didn't div on all time frames, but it did div on 2 hour. Dived on 2 hour. Up to 2 hour. We also got it on. We got it on other time frames. We got other divs. Even 6. How's 6 looking? 6 as well. Wave divs on 6. Money flow increasing here. Still bringing my attention to this point. Money flow very high here. We could take this low and still be in very strong money flow. Like we could come into this area easily. Still strong money flow. Still get absorption. We have vector recovery down here. Past daily VWAPs. Everything. So we have that nice red 30-minute vector candle. I'm looking to get tapped. Really want that little zone to get a nice tap or a flush, immediate acceptance. That would be really nice for some longs. I would take some relatively confident longs if I saw what I wanted coming into this zone. Call this big liquidity down here. I like that. But we'll have to see if we come there. Okay, interesting little kind of push here now. I'm going to see if this is something that I would take for a long. I'm going to let this kind of play out. This could be the higher low. If it is, then I could see us coming up towards Japan's high. In this context, I actually wouldn't necessarily target Japan's high. I would just come into this 45-minute OB. I would take profits around here because they could just be widening this whole thing. And Japan took out Sydney, and you know, that's good enough for me. I don't always necessarily target Japan's high, depending on the context. We'll have to see what happens here. Yeah. All right, that's it for me. Peace, guys. Happy trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow.